This video is all about tree wiring. What is it? Why do we do it? And how do we do it properly? A few videos ago, someone commented that they thought wiring was cheating in bonsai because it produced unnatural looking results. But wiring isn't just bending branches in ways that wouldn't naturally happen. It can also be used to enhance natural features or even preserve natural features that might otherwise be lost. Like this tree I got from Dave. He wired it to keep the graft union visible and make a more interesting trunk. Wiring isn't cheating. It's a tool that every serious bonsai artist uses. There are 3 reasons we wire trees. First, to keep trees small. We can't burn off the excess growth on a tree like we can on shrubs, and large limbs don't shrink back. So we use wire to hold them in place. Second, to set the shape of the tree. You could say that this is part of what makes bonsai, well, bonsai. There are certain shapes that are appealing to us and they don't really occur in nature. By wiring trees, we can produce those shapes. Third, to preserve the tree's natural features, like the graft union on this sycamore, which is right here. This graft union on this maple is right here. These 2 buds are right here. Without wiring, they would have been lost forever. But with a little bit of wire, they will become prominent features of the tree. Now that we know why we use wire, let's talk about what kind of wire we should use. Most bonsai wire is made of copper, aluminum, or stainless steel. Aluminum is cheap and works fine, but it rusts. Copper is more expensive, but won't rust. Stainless steel is the most expensive, but won't leave marks on the bark. Stainless steel is best for trees with smooth bark like maples. Aluminum is good for trees with rough bark like pines and spruces. Next, let's talk about how thick of wire to use. This is a 1/8 inch thick copper wire. It's much too thick. I would never use this on any of my bonsai. You only need as much wire as is necessary. And generally speaking, the thinner the branch, the thinner the wire you should use. As a rule of thumb, the wire should be about 1/3 the diameter of the branch it's attached to. So this branch is about 1/4 inch thick. So the wire should be about 1/12 inch thick. This is much thinner than this. Now that we've got the right wire, let's learn how to use it. As a general rule, you should start wiring the thicker parts of the tree first. The trunk, the primary branches, secondary branches, and finally tertiary branches. Some people say to always start at the top of the tree and work your way down. I don't think that's super important. Just keep in mind that the higher up on the tree you go, the smaller the branches get. So you might need to switch to thinner wire as you move up. I'm going to begin by wiring the top of this tree and work my way down. When attaching wire to a branch, it helps to make sure the ends are sharp. You can do this by putting some wire cutters diagonally over your bench and making a cut. Now start wrapping the wire around the branch. Make sure to wrap the wire at roughly 45-degree angles and make sure they're evenly spaced. About 1/4 to 1/2 inch apart is good. If you're worried about the wire digging into the bark and making scars, you can put some raffia under the wire while you're wrapping it around the branch. Raffia is just a type of plant fiber. It's usually white, but it does stain. So if you're using raffia on a light-colored tree, use tan-colored raffia. The nice thing about raffia is it rots away after a year or so, but you don't need to use it all the time. Only use it if the wire is leaving scars or if the branch is small enough that you're concerned it might split. For example, I'm not going to use raffia here. The wire is already inside this branch, so there's no need. But I'm going to use it here because the wire is on the outside of the branch. If I tried to bend this without raffia, the wire would probably dig into the bark and cause a big scar. Now that we know how to wire individual branches, let's talk about double wiring. If you have 2 branches that are about the same thickness and you want to wire them together, you can do it with a single piece of wire. This is called double wiring. Double wiring is great when you want to attach a branch to the trunk or another branch. This technique provides extra stability because you have two branches holding the wire up instead of just one. Also, since you're doubling up, you can sometimes get away with using thicker wire. Now, let's talk about timing. When is the best time to wire trees? In general, deciduous trees are easiest to wire in late winter before the leaves emerge. That way you don't have to worry about breaking buds or damaging leaves. Conifers, on the other hand, can take years to set shape. So you might have to check them regularly and rewire them several times before they're done. With conifers, you want to avoid leaving the wire on too long. If you leave it on too long, the wire will eventually scar the bark, and that's not a good look. As a general rule, you should remove conifer wire before it leaves scars, which is often after 3 or 4 years. Broadleaf evergreens like hollies and rhododendrons are kind of like conifers. They grow slowly, and you'll probably have to rewire them several times before they set their shape. If you live in a warm climate, you can wire almost any tree almost any time of the year. Just make sure to water the tree deeply right after you're done wiring. As you can see, wiring isn't hard. It's not magic. It's just a simple technique that every bonsai artist uses. Give it a try and have fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. Special thanks to my supporters who help me make high-quality content like this one. You can support my channel too. Thanks for watching.